So what we're gonna do is look at some professional behavior between or related to clients and your professional behavior and all that. And then I got a little activity for you. So um, now this box and for the fall group, it might not be on page 291. This was I pulled this from a PowerPoint I did last year. So but there's a box in there that says safe therapeutic touch policy. So know that you can go back and look at that. All right, so um it's and let's move away from the idea that massage therapists are more uh, apt to be harassed sexually because of the unfortunate connection with the massage parlor issue. We've talked about that. Um, uh, Harassment and acceptable behavior can happen a lot of different ways, not just that way. So as we talk about that, and that might come up, I want you to realize that clients can be inappropriate, which would require a dismissal or some boundary that you would put up, just as massage therapists can. And it's not always sexually related. So, um, one of the things that you're going to have to do, or you'll have to abide by, because if you have an employee or an employer, they should have these policies set in place. Um, and if you're on your own, you'll need to set policies like this. So, not all employers have excellent or have solid policies. So it's one of the things you would ask to see to make sure that, because that's one of the obligations of an employer is to protect you. So you want to make sure you see what their policies look like and all that kind of stuff. So clients should expect the following: engage in respectful, non-sexual, and gender-neutral conversation. So, and it should be the conversation you have with a client should be related to the massage or a general acknowledgement that you've heard what they're saying. Because clients, just like if you ever bartended or cut hair or whatever, they tell you everything. It's like that 1 degree of separation. They feel confident telling you something that they wouldn't tell anybody else, kind of a thing. So if it is offensive, what they're talking about is offensive to you, and you've made that clear, like we're not going to talk about religion and politics. You've made that clear from the very beginning with your client. Um, then a lot of times you can let stuff go in one ear and out the other. You don't have to engage with it. But if they're obnoxious or if they are harassing, the example I can two examples I can give is we had people when during COVID with the masking policy that were just there was one where we were right on the edge of calling the police with, so that's just not acceptable. And then just recently, and I might have used this for an example, we had somebody that wanted the massage therapist to provide deep pressure, but only using their hands and thumbs. And that's just not, I'm not, that's has the potential to harm the massage therapist, and I'm just not going to have that. So I ended up calling and talking to him and basically told him to go someplace else because we're not going to do that. So, so clients should expect from the business and the massage therapist secure, modest draping with specific permission to work in the hip, low back, abdomen, and anterior thorax area. So I talked to a lot of school owners, and there's another school owner in Michigan, and she called and said, I thought that the policy that the law in Michigan said that the groin area and the breast area had to be fully draped in the law. It said that right in the Michigan law. And I said, well, I think so too. But they changed the rules up about 3 years ago. So I went and looked at it, and they don't have that significant, clear draping policy in there anymore. It says that clients should be uh, modest. I don't even think it says that. Clients should be ethically draped or something along those lines. It was very vague. And I thought, oh my goodness, how did I miss that? Because I had reviewed those regulations when they were changing those things up. So what prompted it is that they have a one of their policies in the school, or one of the things the students have to do in the school, is they have to go get massage from 3 massage therapists that are working out in the community someplace. And one of their students went and got a massage, and the person pulled the sheet down and exposed her breasts. And so then it said, then the person said, well, this was a lomi lomi massage. That's a style of massage that has minimal draping to it. And she said that her student was kind of, overwhelmed by it and all that. That's how the conversation got started. And I thought, oh my God, that's not clearly defined in the state law anymore. And I looked through it all. So this is something that, until that policy gets changed, and she, bless her heart, she did an advocacy thing where she wrote to the board and explained it all and all of that. So we'll see if the policy gets changed at all. You have to set your policy. And even if it's, as long as it encompasses what the law says, it can be stricter. It can't be less than what the law says, but it can be more encompassing. So the massage that you got and observed from the spring class, the fall class, who got that from the spring class, you got exposed to some of the paperwork and some of this permission idea and all of that. And getting permission from a client to work in these areas that can be confused with sexually inappropriate touch, it's important that you get that permission every time. This protects yourself. Now, if I saw a client for 20 years, I probably wouldn't do it anymore, but especially in the beginning with clients, you need to be very explicit with these policies. And a client should expect that. And if a client says, oh, no, 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 you don't have to do this, you don't have to direct me, that's grounds for dismissal. Either they abide by your policy or they don't. And there's no gray area on stuff like this. Immediately acknowledge any inadvertent, accidental touch or draping mishap with an apology. So if you didn't mean it or whatever, and the drape slipped over the gluteal area a little bit, or you inadvertently touched the side breast or whatever, doesn't matter the gender interaction, female, female, male, 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 doesn't matter, or anything in between, doesn't matter. If you touch one of these areas that I'm going to call a no touch zone, you need to call it out right away. Don't let it be, I wonder if they know they did that. You should say to the client right away, I'm sorry, I inadvertently touched you in this area. That was an accident. I'm going to make sure that I put it in the chart, that I disclose that that happened and that shouldn't happen again. Yeah. So one of the things that you have to do is become comfortable saying these things. Massage therapists should expect your clients to behave as follows. That they are also engaging in respectful, non-sexual, and gender-neutral conversation. That the client abides by disrobing rules and wears undergarments that cover the gluteal genital region. Lots of times this is not included in the law. It's not something that all massage therapists will do. I think it makes a statement. It's something that my clients have always done. Now, once in a while, there might be a situation or, and I just drape, but it's a policy I've always had to keep things very clear. If if you don't have this underwear rule, then you need to be extra cautious, even extra cautious with your draping in those areas. Now, what if the client says to the massage therapist, "Oh no, that's okay. My other massage therapist doesn't require me to wear underwear." Then you got to think about how are you going to say to them, "Well, I do." And that's the end of it. There's no exceptions. This is what I require. And so if they come without underwear the first time, even though you should have told them about this in the beginning, it's expected that you will wear undergarments that cover, your lower body. You need to do that. If you've disclosed it and discussed it with them ahead of time, then and they show up without them anywhere, unless there was some really strange extenuating circumstances, which I can't think of an example of, then they don't get a massage that day, or you work with them clothed or something. Because a policy bent is a policy broken. So, and people will try to push you. Now, if you don't have a policy around this, that's okay too. But I'm just saying, think through what these policies are going to look like and how you expect your clients to behave. You expect the client that you ensure that there will be no casual touching of the massage therapist and no physical contact in any no-touch zone. And I'm going to show you a picture about that here in a minute. You need to show them that picture and say, you don't touch me, and you don't, and you don't touch yourself in these spots, and I don't touch you in these spots. Done. Maintain secure draping of no-touch zones with no attempt to shift or remove draping in these areas. Immediately acknowledge any inadvertent accidental touch or draping mishap with an apology. So the client's arm drops down and touches your leg. You expect them, you're going to have to initiate it probably and say, remember, no touching, keep your hands where I put them. Was that an accident? Kind of a thing. There's a difference between their hand knocking up against you and them holding on to your leg, kind of a thing. Here are those no touch zones. You can copy this picture and put it right in your intake and have them acknowledge it. If I have a client that has surgical scars in the breast area, then I might work on the scars, but to work on the breast tissue area or expose the breast tissue area for other than an explicit kind of outcome related to a really specific reason, that area is just not touched. And remember, when clients are on their stomach, you can have a side boob, where the breasts move out to the side. And that's where having that rolled towel comes around around the chest and takes care of that, or you've got a pillow or something so that you protect yourself from that. So actions and consequences. Inappropriate behavior of massage therapist client actions. So the massage therapist has been inappropriate. This is what the client should be told they can do. As the client, you should say stop immediately and end the session by telling massage therapist to leave the massage area, then rejects and leave the massage area. This is part of your intake. You tell them that, or you give them this to read, which means they may not read it. But, you got to be clear about this stuff. Immediately, if you're in an employment situation, immediately report the incident to the front desk staff. This is the client having the issue. And complete an incident report provided by the reception staff. It is your right, client, to talk directly to the manager or business owner. If you were touched in any of the no-touch zones or feel that any part of the massage application was hostile or aggressive, you have the right to file assault charges with the police. Front desk staff will assist you in making this call. If you disclose this at the very beginning with a new client and they know it right up front, and then they make an accusation 2 or 3 weeks later and they haven't done anything about it, this protects you a little bit because they've been told that they should take care of it right away. Now, people that have been traumatized or abused often will go into what's called a freeze mode, and they don't even process what's going on until a week or 2 or 3 later or whatever. But at least if there is an accusation, you can prove that you had told the client what they can do if they feel as if the touch was inappropriate. It is best to disclose inappropriate behavior immediately. This is what is taking care of this. However, if upon reflection you determine that the massage therapist behaved inappropriately, it is your right to call or visit the facility and make an incident report. If you feel that you are physically assaulted, it is your right to contact the police. If no desk or reception staff is available, you can contact the police if you felt you were assaulted. A massage therapist who behaves inappropriately and unethically for any reason should be reported to the state's massage licensing board. And a client can do that. Now, this is inappropriate behavior on the part of the client and what the massage therapist does. The massage therapist has the right to end the massage session at any time if they feel uncomfortable with a client's behavior. You don't question yourself on this. If your gut is telling you something's not right, then leave. The massage therapist will leave the room and be unavailable for discussion. This works if you've got reception staff. The incident will be carefully documented. The client is expected to leave the massage area and the premises. The client will not be rescheduled for any massage sessions. If the client purposefully exposes any no-touch zones, inappropriately touches the massage therapist or themselves, or attempts to solicit sexual services of any type, this is a crime and the police will be called. Ta-da.